Hey everybody, this is Justin with Synard Technologies, and if you ever got a quote for a custom piece of software and you're wondering why the bill is so high, chances are you're asking for a lot of integrations. And in this video, we're going to kind of go over why that is and why it would cost so much. If you're on Facebook watching this and you want future content like this, please follow me on Facebook. If you are on YouTube, please like and subscribe to my channel. It helps my channel grow and find more people that may be interested in custom software. So why is it that integrations would cost more? Um, Generally, with integrations, depending on the one, sometimes you're more proficient in some integrations. Let's say you're going to contact like Stripe. Stripe's a pretty common payment system that people use, and a lot of developers know how to work with it. Or if you're working with like some kind of graphing API, generally you have one you're good with, and it's going to go a bit faster. But if you're going to integrate into, say, custom systems, like say you have a custom system already built, and that developer, I mean, it's impossible for developers to know everything at all times. What we are good at is that we are good at the coding part of it. And in general, when you talk to these things, they kind of talk the same way, so we know how to do that. But sometimes, if it's a system we don't know, we have to find information how to talk to it, like which endpoints are we calling, what's it going to return. Um, Sometimes when we get into those APIs, or we know we have to talk to something like that we don't know anything about, we have to account for the extra time it's going to take to get it to work with that one. And sometimes when you get into those APIs that we don't know how to work with, they don't have any documentation. It's just like, oh yeah, you call it from this URL, and then you have to figure out how to get that to work, right? And you're going in blind. Like, what do I have to send the thing to get it to return this, or what do I have to do with it to get it to do this? And then sometimes you'll have it to where, like, let's say you have on a certain feature and you want to do this certain thing, right? Well, if I go and talk to this API, and I send it what it's supposed to get, just to keep it simple, it usually sends something back to me, like, give me the customer list for, you know, this agency or whatever, and then returns the customer list of these agencies. But say you needed a certain property from these agents, and it just happens to not return it, and I need that to do what that needs to be done. Well, I'll have to contact them, let them know if they can return that. I have to work with them, and then like it's something that's out of our control. And then say even if it did do exactly what you wanted to do, you still have to learn to work with it, right? And then if you can't find any documentations of which endpoints I gotta hit and what it returns, it could be frustrating with that kind of stuff. So in general, we're still going to be faster at it than someone that doesn't know what they're doing. But in general, it's impossible to know and predict how long something like that's going to take you. And that's in general, like especially if they're going into a territory that they haven't worked with before. It's just going to be homework time, right? And I know you think like, oh, if you haven't worked with it, why would you build it, right? Well, it's like in this profession, it's impossible to know everything. Everything changes so much. You have to constantly try to keep up with it, and there's always going to be something you haven't worked with before that you're going to need to work with before. The idea behind it is to know how things work well enough to where you can adapt and quickly implement those things. And with integrations like that, with something you haven't talked to, you just haven't talked to it before. You haven't worked with it before. I know in one of our projects, at my last like corporate job, we had to do these training programs, and we worked with this training software. It's like a piece of software we could work with individually, and then we pulled in this data. It wasn't like a facing thing, where like someone could manually, like a Shopify, let's say, where you could manually set things up. It was just strictly a server that you could call, and it would have these classes you can do, and then you can add like kids to the class. And it was like a free piece of software, someone custom built. But then we adopted it on a server, and then we started using that. But the documentation was horrible, man. It was horrible, and then sometimes it wouldn't return things it should return. Um, so you don't know those things until you're knee deep in it, right? And then you have to work with it. Obviously, do your homework a little bit. you look into what's available, and then you decide which one. Me personally, I generally go with what's the easiest to work with. If I can sense that it's easy to work with, or if it's a huge community that's behind it. So if I have questions, people that worked with it a lot, I can ask them questions of what they did to get it to work. But that's the general idea of it. It's just going to take more time because it's an unknown. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. If you're on Facebook, please follow. And there'll be more content like this in the future, but I wanted to cover why integrations might be more expensive as opposed to if you didn't have integrations. The more you have, the more complex it's going to be, the more time it's going to take because you have to learn how to use each one of those unless it's something we've worked with before, and then it'll be faster. And then generally we account for that. I'm like, oh, I know what to do, on that one already, so it's only going to take me 5 hours instead of 20 hours. But yeah, that's what I wanted to cover, and I hope this was helpful. Otherwise, you all have a good day. Thanks. Bye.